And they're like, hey, I missed you last Sunday. You should come. And then you make weird eye contact with that dude across the weight room. And you're like, yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know why I didn't come. I don't know why you didn't come. I'm going to blame this on you, so I'm just going to make awkward eye contact with you. But when we look at ourselves, we've been invited here. You've, in a way, been selected, invited. You're a free agent in an essential sense. And that goes to a lot of coaches' programs and their institutions that they put in for their teams. But also from a product that we have learned from here on our own selves, Chase Hancock, being a walk-on, isn't that one of the most valuable players that we usually take? The guys who come in wanting to be here, and they may not be up to date as some of these people that have been invited prior to, but they want to work. And coaches can choose to recognize this, or they can choose to not recognize this. As we see, Chase was recognized. As we see, many walk-ons are recognized. And that's what makes a lot of successful programs. That they're able to take people that want to be there, and they're not all the way spiritually equitable as you people that are here already. But they seek to be that. And the funny thing is that this big guy up here is coach. And this coach looks at these people that walk in, and the people that walk in and aren't invited or don't know much about the team or the program that's going on, a good pastor can show his worth by taking those people in and making them equitable as the people that he's invited and hand-selected. Or not so much hand-selected, but the people that he has pulled in with his just so charming energy, right? And so, that just tells us that we need to take pride in being a walk-on, if we are a walk-on. We shouldn't feel any less than those people. And if we do feel less than, chances are, it's not a place that we want to be. I want to be somewhere where I want to be the people that may be spiritually more advanced than me. Not that it dominates me and makes me feel less than. And he should be the main guy instilling in these people around. That yes, invite these people on. They should want to be better. Let's make these people better. And that takes us on in our point 3. Family. Now family, if you would never ever think of, pastors are the new economic liberalists. Alright? Now when I say liberalism, I don't mean the liberalism as you guys know today, which is more socialism. We are talking about a more libertarian-centered focus. And this man's first business is his family. Alright? Now, one of the big things in economic liberalism is that you have corporate and you also have individual businesses alone that help those local competition come up. And it's also known for very many successful corporate businesses and not to have a good individual side business that you have locally. But the fact is that you, with your first try as your family being a business, it should be a practice run. This should be, I know what I'm doing. I know how to bring these people in and put an institutionalization inside of them. This spiritual thing of my own children and that they believe what I'm doing. Because if your children don't believe what you're doing, then how do you expect some people from the outside to respect you?
That's right.
Or even listen to it as well.
That's right.
This is their first try. They use their children and their family to show that I have an understanding. I want you to go out and be as good as I once was, but better. And to be able to do that with his family and come outside and do it to you guys as well shows how much of an economic liberalist this guy is. And that also even takes us into the point that you want to be a human that's a pastor instead of a pastor that happens to be human. Now, this doesn't make any sense right now, but I'm trying you. It's going to make sense eventually. Humans that happen to be pastors as well. There's many people. My friend Danny, by chance, he's in my adolescence development class. And while we were in there, we went over the 5 parenting styles. Yes, the 5 parenting styles. Let's go over them. Authoritative, authoritarian, neglectful, indulgent, and last but not least, preacher's kid. Yes, that's a new parenting style. It just got added whenever I added it. And I said, Danny, which one of these 4 parenting styles up here was your mom? His mom's a pastor. And he's like, I don't know, man. She just kind of had her own way about things, like that. So much, I'm not going to be hard on you. I'm not going to leave you too much away. I'm not going to give you everything you want. But listen, if you want to do it, do it. But that's something that you and God gonna have to handle. And then you're like, I want your input. Your input as a parent. And they're like, I said, hey, it's on you and God. And then you're just like, you know, I'm just not going to do anything. I'm just going to sit in the corner tonight. I'm just going to sit in the corner tonight and just, you know, read some Bible verses or something. But it was like, this was the new parenting style. But the thing is that one-on-one features with Danny's mom was that it wasn't a pastor mom. It was mom the pastor. She was a mom first. She cooked a lot. She loved her family. She knew her kids were humans. They were going to do whatever they were going to do. But she knew that she could only put in what her effort was into them. And that they were going to honestly take what they were going to honestly take from her. And that taught me a lot, because there's many people that just are so hard and cover it and just is like, Pastor Mom. Yeah, I'm Pastor Mom. Like, everybody knows I'm a pastor, and then the mom part is just like unevident. It's like, the only fact that we know that you're a mom is because, oh, you happen to have a kid. But instead, they're a parent first, and they just happen to serve the Lord as well too. And they are instilling and institutionalizing these values into the kids that they have. So wrapping it on up, we talked about, first, the grocery store of church. And how we need to make it more of a farmer's market and make it more of an enjoyable place that we want to run to get these nice quality goods and values to instill in ourselves to make these meals of life that we have. Two, we also talked about the congregation and how we are a part of the NCL, the National Church League. We are the free agents here who also accept the walk-ons and also take from the energy of our coach to accept these walk-ons and make these walk-ons greater than what they first came in here as. And being spiritually advanced as we are and helping them be spiritually advanced. And then we talked about third, family, and the economic liberalism of being a pastor. And the fact to invest in these small things of our family just as we invest in the small people of our church to go out and be bigger and to make things more broad. And just like I said, it's a lot of things that go into the process of being a comedian and making a script. There's also a lot of things that go into being a pastor and being a script. How are you identified? What is your worth? How do we know you as? How do you set your brand? Making your own brand. And one of the three main points that we can measure the brand and the worth of our pastors is by how they share in the community, how they share in its own congregation, and how they share themselves in their own family. Thank you guys for being here and listening. Thank you.
Amen, amen. Amen. Now I want you to know that there are a lot of great people, as I have stated previously, that are singing on TV. They first learned how to sing in church. And though they were singing off key, the church went, go ahead and sing, baby. Right? Am I right, sister? They pat you on the back, pat you on the head, they applaud you, slip you a little, peppermint patty and a little chewing gum or something. And they love you and keep on loving you and encouraging you. And what I heard today is very sharp, very intellectual, and I can see that Thad is not just signed up to go to college. Am I right about that? Right. He is not just signed up to go to college. That boy learning something up there. Amen. Amen. Come on, let's put our hands together. Amen. Great job, Dad. Great job, great job. Now, I've been called a lot of things in my life. But a produce man, I've never been called. Gee whiz. Yeah, become the produce man. Lord. Produce man. We're going to have to talk about that after church. Amen. I thank God for you coming today and having you back, with your family. Amen. I remember when we had difficulty at the high school, and we're still having difficulty at the high school, but there are some different personalities involved. You remember that Sunday when we all gathered up and drove over to Woodrow Wilson? And I said, let us pray this problem away. When I saw Ramon here crying his eyes out because they wouldn't give him the ball to run. He had touched the ball 3 times in a football game, and I think that game he had 300 yards. But they didn't want him to shine too much because he wasn't somebody's popular kid. Amen. There are cliques in everything. Amen. Cliques. There are cliques. And if you're not one of the super popular people, they will try to prevent you from shining. And then I remember watching. He never complained to me about it, but I watched Andrew scoop the ball up in the football game because the center should not have been the center in the first place, but he was the coach's son. And his arms were so short that when he centered the ball would just roll back to the quarterback. Am I right? And he would just, pick it up and run for his life. Didn't matter what play was called. They was just going to chase Andrew all up and down the field, behind the bleachers, up the street and everywhere else. And if you ever went to a football game, you can see that. Amen. Then we watched over, and I watched some of the other kids. I'm not going to call everybody's name, but I saw also Thad. And how, there's being treated and then there's being mistreated. Yeah. And a lot of things that you go through in life, that's just tools of the devil to defeat you and to rob you of every opportunity to be what God has for you. So, and I watched him, and it just made me angry. I don't like to see systems that take away our opportunities, because God says you can be what you have in your heart to be. If God puts that desire in you and he puts that gift in you, then you go change the world. Don't just change your neighborhood, change the world. Amen? That's how we all got here. Somebody worked hard and sacrificed to make life better for us. Somebody did it. I know that there's no family in the community named somebody. Amen? I know at your house, when your mama said, somebody need to get up and go lock the door, nobody moved. Because the kids, nobody's name was somebody. So I was happy that you really gave it out. And I can see, prophetically, I can see that you keep it up. You keep going. You keep walking, Thad. Keep walking. And I don't know who your friend is. You mentioned your friend. Now, who is your friend?
Oh, it's my Canadian grizzly bear I brought down with me.
A Canadian grizzly bear?
Yeah. Straight from BC.
Oh, BC. Is that because of Christ? That's British Columbia. That's
It's British Columbia, over around Vancouver.
Okay.
And he's my roommate, and he plays lacrosse. And then we were roommates, and I remember probably second week of school, he's like, Dad, I think you can play lacrosse. And I was like, yeah, I think I can run across water too. And then, so he's like, no, I think you can really play lacrosse and get into it. And then he helped me with the coach and stuff like that, and the coach came up to me, and then we went through the whole appeal process, and then I ended up moving on to be on the lacrosse team. And so he's a really good friend of mine, and he wasn't able to go home for Canada for Thanksgiving, so we opened the house up for him. Got to get the good deed of the month.
And I want you to know that we open the house to you. We open the church to you. We open our hearts to you. What's your first name? Huh?
Kyle.
Spell that for me. K-Y-L-E. Okay. Kyle. Let's give Kyle a hand, church. Kyle, would you like to have something to say? You said yes? Yes.
Good morning, church. It's good to see you again. Happy Thanksgiving. I just wanted to say that it has been a pleasure for us to be able to host Kyle. He's a little shy, so he didn't want to stand up. But we've appreciated having our Canadian around. He's been a blessing. And I'm so glad that you guys have made him feel loved and accepted. So on our way out, just give him a pat on the back and say hey or whatever.
All right.
But he really has been a blessing. He's been a blessing. He's been a wonderful roommate for my son. Anytime that I went down, it's been a pleasure. And he actually, for the first time ever, Thaddeus was actually ready when I picked him up, and that's because of Carl.
All right.
So I was like, where have you been all of our lives? But I don't want to interrupt the service. I just want to say a really quick testimony, really quick. The funny thing about to see my son standing up there speaking, because a mother knows, and I just want to encourage all parents. You know, the word says, train up a child in the way that they should go, and they shall not depart from it. And a lot of times when we would do like little things and small things for pastor's anniversary or whatever, I would automatically volunteer Thaddeus because he was kind of like on the shy side too. And I said, well, Thad's going to do the welcome speech. And I would literally tell him before and push him and be like, go. And he would have this look on his face like he didn't have an option because I literally pushed him in front of everyone. So sometimes I just like to encourage families and mothers, you know, just keep on praying, just stay at it, and just keep on pushing your children, because sometimes, most of the time, the Lord tells us when they don't know. So sometimes it's our job to convince them of who and what they are, and to encourage them in their walks. You know, and the other children around as well. Like when I see something in someone else's child, sometimes I forget and I get on a tangent and it kind of have to stop. I'm sorry, I thought you was bad. Because I just want them to know that you are loved, you are great, you are bright, you can shine, and that God has a work for you. And then I want to encourage you to be that. A quick thing to say, the last time I picked up Thaddeus last month in October, I went to pick him up and I've never hit a deer in my entire life. I hit my first deer last month, the week of his birthday. Totaled the car. Brand new car. Totaled. And as it was happening and we were coming, the deer just appeared out of nowhere. And the first thing out of my mouth was Jesus. But simultaneously as I was saying Jesus, it was like, this is going to happen. This is going to happen. And it was just like, brace yourself. And when it happened, I was just scared because we were on the road. And usually when I drive this stretch of the road, there's always cars around me. And there was no cars around me this time. All of the airbags deployed. I was trapped in the car. We were on the interstate. And the car just shut off. I was lucid enough. I said, okay, think fast, in case like I passed out or it was worse than what I thought. And I said, emergency flashes. Thaddeus gets out the car, which you should not do, but thank God he did. And he waves down. There's a tractor trailer coming behind us. He waves down the tractor trailer. The tractor trailer stops behind us and puts on the emergency flashes. But all I could feel was cars crashing behind us. I was anticipating. And I was just like, Lord. My seatbelt was locked. I couldn't get out. I couldn't move. I couldn't even roll the windows down because the car shut off. I'm breathing in all this stuff. And they had to like cut me out before the EMS guys got there. But it was just so tragic. It could have been so much worse. But I thank God for that tractor trailer and God's timing, because God's timing is perfect.
Amen.
And He is a present help in the time of need. And if you can't think of anything else, you call his name, and he is everything that you need him to be in this moment.
Yes.
He is a protector.
Yes.
He is a provider.
Yes.
He is a comforter.
Yes.
And he is a shield.
Yes.
I thank him because I'm looking up at my son in his pink polo shirt. And I'm like, thank you, Lord. Thank you, because it's the holidays. Things happen around the holidays. And so many people have lost their children. I mean, it's a loss to lose a family member, period. But a child, 19-year-olds, a 19 and a 25-year-old committed suicide. Another 19-year-old, and these are people that was around us, like professionally, people we interact with. People are taking their lives. And I was like, in that month, so much stuff happened. My mom was hospitalized for her heart. We went through 2 hospitals, that was an issue. Everything was just coming, it was coming fast and hard. And I was like, weird. All I could do was roll through it. But I said, thank you, Lord. Not only could I come to church another day, but I had the opportunity to see my son praise the Lord another day. I got to see him stand in the choir. I had an opportunity to hear him speak. And I just want to thank him for that, because how many parents, how many people would love one more time to see a loved one, a family member, or a child stand before them, and to stand before them and worship our Most High. You know, so that's what I'm thankful for, if nothing else.
Amen.
Love you guys. Have
Love you
a
too.
blessed Thanksgiving. Great to see you.
Amen. Come on, let's give her a hand. God is going to do a deer rep.
Take my deer. I was like, I earned that deer. I paid for it. We gonna eat that deer. And this man literally came out of the mountain and brought our deer across the guardrail. He did. You know you in the country then.
Can't even hit a deer and capitalize on it. Somebody come along and take your deer and take it home and eat it. Yeah, Lord Jesus. I'm thankful that the Lord has blessed you and provided for you. And, God has promised to feed you. But he, just let the man have the deer. Don't let him have it. He's more blessed to give than to receive. So,
We contributed to someone else.
so anyway, don't get mad, stick your lip out because you lost the deer. Even if the deer did tear up the car. But I thank God this morning that we had some evidence of college, and then young man from British Columbia here, amen, and then a testimony coming in. I want you to know that we have had, right from this choir, we have had and still are producing great scholars, great minds. Amen.
Amen.
And everybody contributed. Everybody contributed. Amen. So we're thankful for all of that. That's one thing that I like about why God blesses people at Mount Zion. You never can tell where they're going to end up and what they're going to be doing. So you got to hear Thad this morning. So you might turn on CNN in about 4 or 5 years and see him there. He is, ambassador to the United Nations or something. And then you're going to be wanting to run and tell everybody, oh, look, he got that. And then you'll try to write him and he won't even write you back.
Oh, God.
You know what I mean? Just thought I'd throw that in there. So let's keep praying for somebody else. Let's keep praying for our youth. I'm going to approach somebody. Came to me last night to come and play, and I want somebody else to gather these young people in. Somebody that's been here before, so we can continue. Amen. We can continue to sing. It's time now for Deacon Minor to gather us together for our offering, tithes and offerings. Tithes and